Quick test. If I point at 14 drones in a row, could you tell which ones are toys, which ones spray crops, which ones deliver packages, and which one is basically a robot bird? Most people can't. So here's the board, all the main drone types up front, and the last slot stays covered because that one gets properly strange. Toy drone. The cheap little starter bug, usually palm size, feather light, and built to bounce off your bookshelf before it ever meets real weather. This is where you learn throttle, yaw, and the ancient art of not panic punching into a ceiling fan. Prop guards and altitude hold make it forgiving, but the second a breeze shows up, this thing gets shoved sideways like a napkin. And small does not mean rule-free. In the US, recreational FAA rules still apply, and over 0.55 pounds means registration. Next up, the camera drone, which is what most people picture anyway. Think a compact quadcopter with a little camera gimbal hanging under the nose. Its whole job is hover, frame the shot, glide a few feet, then hover again. It's basically a tripod that got bored and learned to fly. The giveaway is that dangling gimbal. Even when the drone tilts to move, the camera stays level. Built for stability, not speed. Next up, the selfie drone. Tiny, quick to launch, and basically built to chase you down a trail. Picture a little folding quad popping out of a jacket pocket, lifting off in seconds, then locking onto your face, bike, or beach walk with one tap tracking. Instead of constant stick work, it leans on follow modes and canned swoops. Super convenient until the wind picks up. Then you really feel the smaller motors, lighter body, and more limited camera. Then comes the FPV racing drone, a stripped-down speed goblin with a tiny nose camera beaming straight into goggles. Picture a compact frame, exposed props, and no big gimbal, just raw punch. These things are twitchy on purpose, built to rocket through gates, dive gaps, and snap around corners way harder than a camera drone ever should. And one rule matters. With FPV, you still need a visual observer keeping it in unaided sight. After that spotter rule, meet the Cinehoop, the weird peace treaty between FPV and camera work. You know it by the prop guards, a tiny angry vacuum cleaner with a camera strapped on. It's built for indoor fly-throughs, event shots, and smooth one-take moves through doors, hallways, and around people. Compared with a racer, it's slower and better protected. Compared with a classic camera drone, it squeezes through gaps and gets much closer without feeling quite so sketchy. Then you get the inspection drone, the flying clipboard for roofs, bridges, power lines, towers, and solar farms. It's built less for speed and more for the sensor stack. Big zoom, thermal vision, and a rangefinder to hold position and measure trouble from a safe distance. Some don't even need a pilot on site. They live in a weatherproof dock, launch remotely, fly the route, then land and recharge. Less climbing, less risk, way more repeatable checks. Less climbing, less risk. Now make it urgent. Public safety drones go up when police need a live overhead, firefighters need to map a hot roof, or search crews need to sweep brush for one warm body. These rigs are built to see fast, not shoot pretty. Thermal often beats normal video. In smoke, darkness, or thick scrub, heat pops and people appear. In the US, agencies can fly under civil rules or as public aircraft operations for government missions. Next up, agricultural drones, farm machines built to cover serious acreage fast. Picture a hexacopter hovering over rows, spraying fertilizer, spreading seed, then switching to mapping and crop health checks. The big difference is payload. Some of these things look like flying tanks with rotors. DJI's Agras T40 is advertised at a 40-kilo spray load or 50-kilo spread load. And in the US, this work can fall under Part 137 agricultural aircraft rules, not just basic small drone ops. From crop dusting, jump to the drone everybody expected to be dropping pizza by now, the delivery drone. Picture a flying box mule, built to move a small package from point A to point B. FAA guidance puts these in fixed-wing, multi-rotor, or hybrid VTOL camps, with package payloads capped at 5 pounds in that framework. The real trick is logistics: efficient routes, safe drop-off, and the same autonomous trip repeated all day. After delivery drones, here's the opposite idea: a drone that barely goes anywhere. A tethered drone stays plugged into the ground with a cable, pulling power nonstop and often sending data down the same line. That means it can hover for ages over a stadium, checkpoint, or job site like a flying security pole. The sales pitch is simple: effectively unlimited flight time. The catch is just as obvious. The cable leashes it, so it trades exploration for persistence. After that tethered drone, picture the opposite: a little airplane with no pilot on board. A fixed-wing drone keeps its wings locked in place and stays up by moving forward, not by hanging on rotors. That makes it a mileage machine, great for mapping farms, surveying pipelines, or sweeping huge areas on one battery. But there's a trade. It usually needs room to launch and land, and if you want it to stop and stare at one spot, forget it. Next up, the single-rotor drone. Picture a tiny unmanned helicopter, one big main rotor doing the heavy lifting, not 4 or 6 little props. That bigger rotor can stay aloft longer and haul more weight than a typical multi-rotor. The catch is right in the mechanics: more moving parts, more setup, less grab and go, so you don't see these everywhere. But when the job is lifting sensors, spraying gear, or flying longer without quitting, this helicopter-style layout really earns its keep. Next comes the Transformer build, a hybrid VTOL drone. It hops straight up like a quadcopter, then tips into wing-borne cruise like a tiny plane. On the board, it looks gloriously indecisive: wings, lift rotors, sometimes tilting motors all bolted together. The payoff is real: hover for takeoff and landing, then efficient forward flight for distance. The FAA even calls out hybrid VTOL as a delivery drone type, which tells you this weird mashup actually works where missions get practical. And then the drone goes underwater. Picture a small sub with thrusters, cameras, and bright lamps creeping along a ship hull or a pipeline while the pilot stays dry up top. NOAA's definition is basically this: an unoccupied, highly maneuverable machine, often run through a tether from the surface. The rules change fast down here: buoyancy, pressure, murk, and currents. So the lights are punching through soup while the robot does the dangerous job below. All right, the last one, the flapping wing drone. Wings do the whole job here. Flapping makes lift and shove at the same time, basically a robot bird cheating the air. It can look uncannily alive: skinny body, beating wings, tiny tail, even autonomous perching on a branch. The catch is brutal mechanics and twitchy control, which is why most engineers just bolt on rotors and move on. But for pure frontier weirdness, keep the energy high, from branch-grabbing bird bots to ingenuity-proving powered, controlled flight on Mars. That's the part people miss. Drone just means unmanned, not one shape, one job, or even one environment. Some are camera tripods with propellers, some are flying tractors, and one of them is out here trying to impersonate pigeon.